Afternoon, guys. Welcome to my channel, Bullstor Boys Towers. I'm just touching on a subject about gangs, because earlier on I uploaded some content about how I joined the gang and just a few of the capers what we used to cut in the gangs. But this is just a video just to let people know that joining gangs is an absolute mug's game. There's only one way out of the gang, and if you decide you want to go in and come out a few years later, then you're going to come very, very unstuck, because at that time you will know too much information about the hierarchy, lads, of your gang for your gang to actually let you go and lead a normal life. So yeah, there's only a few ways out of gangs, and this is why I can't stress enough to the younger generation and to anyone that's thinking about joining gangs not to join them. Now, who do the gang leaders target? It has always been council estate people, people what come from poor backgrounds, vulnerable people. They also target vulnerable people. They also target a lot of youngsters and give them the impression that they're going to have all the best clothes, they're going to have the nice gold, they're going to have the nice women, they're going to have the nice cars, and they're going to have the glamorous lifestyle. And at first, it's all well and good, because yes, they will be getting little bits and pieces of prizes from the gang leader just to groom them into the gang. But yeah, I'm going to be touching quite a lot over the next coming few days on gang life and what it leads to, and what is in gang life, what goes on in gang life. And I remember when I was in my gang, I was hardly alone. I never ever used to sleep at my family's house. I was always around my gang. And when I was alone, I always was looking over my shoulder. I always had something down my waist ready to retaliate to anyone that brought violence to me. So yeah, I was forever looking over both of my shoulders. And it's only now at the age of 54 years of age that I realise that is no type of a lifestyle to lead. And a lot of these youngsters, they actually look up to these elders as a role model. But I just want people to realise that these people at the top of the scale in the gangs, the people who groom the youngsters, they're not nice people whatsoever. All they think about is their pocket and themselves. They're very materialistic people. They're control freaks. They're violent, and not very nice people. So I'm going to be touching on quite a lot about gangs, as I said, over the next few days, guys. But yeah, this is just a quick video just to let my viewers know that I was in a gang for many years, and the violence which I committed in my gang and the violence which we committed as gangs was on a different scale. Actually, too violent for me to even begin to tell you what type of violence we committed and who it was on and where it was and things like that. But all I can say is a few people did get stabbed, a few people did get shot, a few people did get tortured, and it was all about violence. It was all about control. It was all about drugs, and it was all about who's at the top of the pecking order. And my gang was notorious all throughout of southwest London. So basically, if we was mooching about around the streets in a car looking for bits and pieces, what we could get up to, and other dealers would notice us mooching about, they'd literally run and try and get away from us. But 90% of the time they got caught, and most of them drug dealers actually got robbed, or if they didn't get robbed, they got severely hurt in the way of being stabbed, on the way of being slashed, until they did give up their prize. So this is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Gang violence is nowadays is totally different to what it was years and years ago. When I was in my gang, we wouldn't be really hurting the public. I mean, we would be hurting the public, but what I'm saying is we wouldn't be going out targeting the public. And nowadays, you've got young kids what are stabbing young kids and things like that. So yeah, just makes you just makes me stop and think about like when I was in my gang and how much things have changed over the years. And it's got a lot worse, you know. Even when it comes to things like prison, going to prison, it's a totally different ball game. Years ago, we didn't have absolutely nothing in there. We had an empty piss bucket in a corner of our cell, a cardboard chair, a cardboard seat, and we was banged up for 23 and a half hours a day in the cell. We didn't have no phones, we didn't have no TVs, we didn't have nothing like that at all. But yeah, when I went to my local jails, which was Wandsworth, Brixton, the Ville, Scrubs, I always knew people. People always knew me, and I've always landed on my feet because, you know, if people didn't know me in that prison, then they knew who I was working with, and they knew who was behind me, and they knew my not little firm, they knew my firm. We was very notorious. We was very dangerous. We was feared. We was on a different scale, and yeah, it all came to an end in 1999 when I got the 12 years. But right up until that, you know, in 99, it was just absolute crazy. I didn't care if I lived. I didn't care if I died. I wasn't scared of absolutely nothing. And at that time, I felt like I was untouchable. I thought I was invincible. I thought nothing could ever come to me. And that's what a lot of young kids think when they join gangs nowadays. They don't think of the consequences of their actions. They just think that if they do something for the elders and they join a gang, they're going to be part of a brotherhood, and it leads to bigger things. It does lead to bigger things, but what it leads to is on a different scale. As I said, pain, misery, hell, many years in jail. I've lost friends along the way, down to getting shot, down to getting stabbed. I've lost many friends down to overdosing. I've lost many friends down to committing suicide in prison. The list goes on and on and on. And if you're in a gang, if you get to the age of 54, where I am now, you're one lucky man. I hope you like this content, guys. I'm going to be touching quite a bit on this content during this week. Have a nice day. Peace.